It's no secret, our world is surrounded by technology. People use it all the time for things such as work and also for leisure time activities, such as reading books, listening to music, and also watching film and television shows. But that wasn't always the case. Back when I was really young, I remember getting tons of DVDs for my birthday and or Christmas, and I remember watching them for hours and hours and hours. DVDs and CDs were the main way of getting movies and television at that time. It seems to be more going toward the digital side for watching movies and television, besides their CD and DVD counterpart. So we're going to start our journey a little bit back in the past. Not exactly when digital media first took over, but we're going to go a little bit past that and go look at VHS and CDs and see how they helped pave the way for digital rental and digital media to actually take over. So the first thing we have to do before we talk about the present is go back to the past and kind of explore what it was like before digital. More about VHS and CDs and how that really impacted what digital is today. So to do that, we're going on a little trip. While we're taking this journey, I'm going to go ahead and share some history with you about the earliest VHS and CD movies that took the movies from the movie theater into our own home. The first official VHS was a movie of a Korean film named The Young Teacher in 1976. And just a year later, in 1977, we had our first American films on VHS, which were Sound of Music, Patton, and MASH. And then when CDs came around, technically the first theatrical film or film from the movie theater to put on a CD was called Twister in 1997. There's a few other test CDs that came out around earlier that time, as well as a few documentaries and stuff, but this was the first major film that came from a movie theater and put onto a CD. Alright, so we are here at Concord Mills to go explore more about analog and more stuff for movies and television. And the right place to do it would be the mall because they sell tons of analog CDs and movies and TV shows on DVD. Let's check it out. While walking through the mall, it really opened my eyes to how CDs were revolutionary, especially CDs and VHSs to be precise. It took the movies from the big screen that you adored and let you watch at your own time, at your own pace, in your own home. It makes complete sense of why these really took off, each with your own unique art on top of the cover, had some extra bonus features. I could really see how this became such a big deal and how we've used this now for years to take films that we love and keep on watching them repeatedly. And it definitely set the way for digital media because without this, we never would have the idea to even take movies and put them in our own homes. So the trip at the mall really helped me see that this is actually a really good idea and how it really did pave the way for digital media. To go ahead and put these movies in the compact disc and take them home must have been very revolutionary. But I want to know a little bit more about it. So to do that, I talked with a few people I know to kind of get a better idea of how life was like before the digital media even started. So for our journey, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a detour, talk a little more about the CDs and DVDs, go right into our digital media, more the 2010 era. So what was it like to watch movies from CDs and VHSs besides our digital media today?
Well, it started with VHSs and we had Blockbuster. That was where we had to drive and get movies and then rewind them and then watch them and then rewind them and then take them back to the store. And then CDs came a couple years later in the Blockbusters. So it was, a lot of time to go get them. I'm sure the grocery stores probably were better off back then because, then we went to the grocery store and grabbed snacks.
All right, so can you please explain to me what it was like before digital media? We're watching through CDs and VHS.
VHS and the CDs, of course, made it much more convenient than having to go to the movie theaters.
Yep.
And it wasn't that expensive, really. And really, that's all It just made it easier.
So, when Netflix introduced their streaming services, because before they were a CD also, where you can rent CDs from them, did you go to the streaming service right away, or was it more of a slow process to get you into their streaming service?
It was a slow process because then Redbox came out with their CD service, and I don't honestly remember when streaming started in Netflix, but once I got hooked, I don't ever go and do CDs anymore.
With the smart TV, it's so easy just to turn it on and watch the movies and pick most of the time I have plenty of things to watch.
So we started our journey back in the past, not exactly when digital media started, but we took it back to look at CDs and VHSs and how they influenced digital media. The idea of taking a movie and be able to view it at your own leisure was a revolutionary idea, and now it's just a click of a button away. But we're going to look from the past now to the present and see how much digital media has changed and how people now are using it. So to find out what the present day kids and other adults are actually using as a form of media, I'm going to be going to UNC Charlotte to interview some people and ask them a few questions. First question, what do they use to watch film? Is it going to be an analog, such as DVD and Blu-ray, or is it more digital, such as Netflix and Hulu? The second question is, why do they prefer one over the other? Is there any specific reasons, or is there any other counters to the other that just makes it more preferable to watch on a digital source? And then finally, if they think that in the near future, there will be a world without analog. So what I found from interviewing students at UNC Charlotte was that most of them use digital media to watch films and movies. The reason being is that if you have an iPhone, a laptop, or any smart device, you have the movies and film right at your fingertips and you can watch it anywhere. And it's just way more convenient. To get more of an idea, I interviewed a local student named Mackenzie to get a little bit more in depth about why they use digital media to watch movies and film. So as a UNCC student, how is watching movies on digital media easier for you?
Well, being at campus all the time and being able to stream things on your phone or on your laptop makes everything really easier. Plus, just like not having to take the time to go and like buy a movie or a video or a series, and just being able to pull it up on like Netflix or any streaming thing, then it just makes it way easier and not as time consuming. So it's just right there at your fingertips, really.
So, do you prefer digital media, or would you rather go back to CDs and VHS?
I guess I would say I prefer digital media, even though I do like CDs. But going in the way that we're going, digital media is just easier and more accessible.
So in our journey, we've seen how digital media developed, and how now to the present, it's changed so much. It's gotten bigger, and more people are using it. Well, then why are we still selling CDs or even making CDs and Blu-ray if they're more expensive? Well, it's actually surprising that realistically, CDs were still the most used medium for film up until 2014, and then it really took off for digital media. But even still today, major sales are being made through CDs. While marketers still put their movies on digital platforms first, it's surprising that they still make more money using the CDs. So even with this big blast of digital media and multiple people using it, CDs are still pretty common and are still bought on the regular. So in our journey, it's interesting to see how, even though digital media has grown from its beginnings, analog items are still being used pretty regularly, and doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon.
So for my next question, would you prefer CDs, or do you still prefer the Netflix digital media route for watching movies and television?
I do prefer streaming. I do like CDs though, because we have bought a lot that we like the movies. We just can't play them on a smart TV. So I do prefer streaming to the CDs now.
And do you think in the near future we'll go to a fully digital world where there are no more CDs or any other analog items to buy, or do you think it's going to be a little bit longer? So you think CDs are going to last a bit longer?
They'll probably last a bit. I think that between the CDs and streaming in the future is that CDs will eventually go away, just like the VHS tapes went away, because again, the smart TVs don't offer CDs, so it'll be limited options to even play a CD. So I believe streaming will take over, and we won't have any hard copies of movies.
And do you think that in the future we will still have CDs, or in the near future, or do you think digital media will take over and we'll have no more hard copies of movies to watch?
Well, with the way technology is, it may take some time before that all changes, but I think somebody will come up with a new technology for watching movies, music, whatever, anything that's on those that you can get now on the CDs, the VHS, and the streaming products, I guess, what you call.
Took a journey through digital media from its beginnings to where it was just CDs and VHSs, giving us even the idea of watching movies from the big screen at our own homes. With that idea, we got now streaming services, which helped us with even more conveniences with our smart devices. To now to the present, where many people use it. We still have analog devices, of course, but we mainly use digital media to get our movies and television. We took a little bit of a sidestep in our journey to talk about why analog even still exists, and it's because they still actually sell quite a bit, and they are still a presence in our society today. And not just for movies, for music, for books, anything analog can still be used today, and it's still used very much. But now it's time to talk about the future of digital media. And like you saw in the last 2 segments here of my interviews, I asked my interviewees, what do they think is going to happen? And they think digital media will take over from CDs and other analog movies. I have to say that throughout this journey and through my research and going on this journey through digital media, I have to agree. I think maybe not in the near future, but eventually we will see a digital world. And that's just really cool to think about. And it's awesome to think about how we went through the digital journey of movies, but there's even another journey for books and another journey for music. So much that we could explore and how digital media has definitely arose. But for movies and television, it was really awesome to take a step back and explore and see just how far we've come from CDs and VHSs to the days digital media such as Netflix and Hulu. And it's awesome thinking about what may happen in the future.